We have a huge Texans move incoming. Reports have revealed crazy updates that the Houston Texans are going to re-sign a long-term defensive player. They spent in free agency, they re-signed Derek Stingley, and this is a player who could be a main component of the defense. Somebody who's playing the slot corner role. He was around at safety. We'll talk about his play, his performance on the field, as well as why he could get a big-time contract this season. But first thing, if you're not subbed to the channel, we're really close to 1,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me. Texans Digest has been awesome. The community has been pumping. NFL Draft is right here. Let me know what you think of the team, the offseason moves, and what the record will be for this upcoming season. If you haven't yet, hit that sub button. But Jalen Pitre has made it known in an article that he wants to stay in Houston. It's his home. He's been here. It's where his family is. And he's currently coming off a season-ending injury where he had a torn pectoral, so he's back. He's feeling good. He's excited for the season. We don't know how active he'll be at OTA camps, mini camps after the draft and whatnot, but so far, he'll do spring at OTAs, mini camp. He's feeling good. He's excited to be back. And the biggest thing about Pitre was his pass coverage was not really the best, right? He was a good run blocker. He was good in the box as a slot corner, just kind of like a rotational safety in the top two, strong safety and free safety. Never really performed the best. He was always good in the box, coming down to stop the run, coming down to make a big hit. That's been Pitre's go-to, is to make contact, draw the ball loose, and just hit you hard. If you're gonna catch it, you're gonna get hit. So Pitre, a 60 grade on PFF for his pass blocking abilities. Overall, his run blocking has been really blocking, I don't know why I'm saying run, but his defense against the run has been very good. He can pick that up. His pass coverage has just been a little bit questionable. So we talked about in a past video how he could potentially be traded, but honestly, I could see Pitre staying for the future. And when you're looking at a contract extension, I don't know if you could see that, but the amount of safeties that are kind of getting a top deal, whether it's, Antoine Winfield, $20,000 a year, or I would think a similar contract in Justin Reed, who's getting now $10 million a year on the Saints. Remember when Justin Reed he wasn't traded, but the Texans did not re-sign Justin Reed. The Chiefs went out and gave him a mega kind of deal, 3 years, about $15 million a year. But the whole point is that do you want to re-sign a safety in Justin Reed when he's a good player? But is it worth the money for him to be there long term? That's kind of the most controversial question for the Texans, and they have to make a decision because they just paid Danielle Hunter one of the highest contracts as a defensive end, really close to Myles Garrett deal. And then you just paid you just paid Derek Stingley Jr. a $90 million fully guaranteed, almost. It's 89 out of 90 million guaranteed, but you just have to be smart with your money. And Nick Caserio traded Laramie Tunsil. That was a good idea, but now you have kind of three players on a longer deal contracts. Nico Collins is around for the longer term in terms of this year, next year. CJ Stroud, hopefully he gets re-signed this year. He should be here for a while. And then Will Anderson is another cornerstone piece that you want to extend. So I don't know if Pitre is at the top of the priority list, but it is good to note that his contract is up after this season. And the other thing is he might just take a little bit of a pay cut because he loves Houston so much and how many memories he's made here and that he wants to continue playing here. If he doesn't want to play here, it would be because the Texans either want to trade him or move on from him. I've seen the comments, and some people are saying if we can get a second-round pick for him, he might as well go out and go get a second. I feel like it's a little bit low. Pitre getting a second-round pick, if it's next year, I think that's a little way too little. But a second-round pick this year for Jalen Pitre, it's pretty good value, but I'd rather Pitre be in that starting rotation, be moved around, whether it's a slot corner, he goes out in the safety. We mentioned the pass coverage, a little bit shaky there, but overall, a good guy who can just play good defense, hard-hitting safety. And in terms of his play recognition, he could definitely pick up the run and read the quarterback's eyes pretty well in terms of timing on when he hits receivers. He's gotten a couple flags for his helmet-to-helmet hits, but overall, 44 starts for Pitre, 21 pass deflections, 6 interceptions over his career, 2 forced fumbles, a very good safety. At this point in the draft, they They took Pitre. I wanted Jaquan Brisker, who I believe was still on the board. At that point, I was thinking about a wide receiver. They ended up getting John Mechie, I believe, later in that draft. But overall, this is kind of what I want to highlight is Pitre, what do you give him? Right, he's coming back off an injury. This is kind of like a hit or miss kind of season. If Pitre stays healthy, he'll most likely play well and get a contract extension next season. And if he's going to be considered as one of the higher paid safeties in the league, what do you give him? Is he Winfield money worthy? Does he get $20 million a season? And I don't know if we have that kind of money to continually give guys the money that they're looking for. Now, Danielle Hunter will believe he deserved it. But Pitre, I feel like he's around the Kyle Duggar range, right? Where he's a $14 million a year if he has a solid productive season. And with that, that is kind of a little bit of a loss. And probably part of the reason why you brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson is you don't know the future of your safety room, right? You have Cameron Bullock. You brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson out in the secondary. Yes, you have Jalen Pitre probably playing the slot corner position, but overall, it's what do you make from the situation? Can you improve as a team? And I'm sure Nick Caserio will do that in terms of what's best for this team. Jalen Pitre right now, it's going to be tough to say what he makes because, he has to stay on the field. Does he perform at the position that he is in? You could rotate him around a little bit. It depends on where you put him. But overall, you could see that he wants to be in Houston, which is a good sign, and you know that he is wanting to play with all of his passion. So I love Pitre. He's a great player. There's certain flaws in his game, but overall, I think the DeMeco Ryan system really just emphasizes how good of a player that he can be in that situation just to, be called to play zone coverage, sit on a couple routes, and then just light up a wide receiver. And he does a pretty good job, too, when even if it's like a 6'4" Mike Evans running a slant inside, he will lay his shoulder down. He will give you a pop no matter who it is. So that's one of the things I love about Jalen Pitre is that he does not shy away from contact. And obviously it's football. You don't want any player to shy away from contact. But he doesn't say no to anything. He's like a Rob Gronkowski on a wham block, and when Vince Wilfork is there to, light him up. So I don't know if anyone's heard that story, but I thought it was funny to relate it. So Jalen Pitre, he will go out and he will try and block a Gronk. I mean, it's definitely not the smartest idea, but that gut play and that resilience kind of type of player that he is, and a team member, he does play as a team. So it's really a matter of filling holes in the defense. I think this was one of the better secondaries the Texans have had in a while. Hopefully there's a healthy season because the wide receiving core was not good, and that was part of the health. So honestly, all should go well for the Texans. But realistically, if the season were to go like flipped on its side, the only reason would be because of injuries. And I mentioned that because Pitre got hurt last year, and that's definitely not a good sign. Obviously, you wish everyone well, but injuries are part of football. It happens. So the biggest question is, will the Texans be a championship contender in terms of an AFC title? We talked about it in the past. I believe yes. But with that, if they don't go far, what will be the problem? It will 100%. If they do not go far in the playoffs, it'll be one of two things: the injuries or the poor execution on the offense, because that's what happened last year. They went from 22nd ranked in 2024 last year. They were 12th the year before. They dropped 10 spots as an offense. That's why they fired Bobby Slowick. And I know this has nothing to do with Pitre, but to my point now is health is a very key concern. And Jalen Pitre, that will be determining how much he is paid next season is if he's on the field, how long he's on the field, and does he contribute to the highest level. I think Pitre comes back. I think he comes back better than ever. But overall, this is a player that's going to give you 100%, and he's definitely looking to stay in Houston, which is a great sign. So that's the video for today. Pitre is staying in Houston. Got a couple rumors that Keenan Allen might be on the horizon. ESPN analysts are saying so. We could dive into that news tomorrow if you're looking forward to it. Comment down below your thoughts. Jalen Pitre as a player, do you trade him? Do you re-sign him for a max contract? This is his last year of his contract. So a lot of questions to still kind of go around. But overall, appreciate everyone watching, hanging out on the Texans Digest. It's been Mike Zanetti. Hit that sub button if you're new. Really appreciate all the support on the channel. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to see all the comments. It's been a blast doing this. I missed an upload yesterday. Been a busy schedule, but got to continue to pump these videos out. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.